Ladies and gentlemen, good day, and welcome to Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Limited Q3 FY 2021 earnings conference call hosted by Monarch Networth Capital Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Sanghvi from Monarch Networth Capital Limited. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Sanghvi.
Thank you, Nirav. Good evening to all. On behalf of Monarch Networth, we welcome you for the Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Limited Q3 FY 2021 earnings call. We are glad to host the management from Kirloskar Ferrous. Today, we have their MD, Mr. R.V. Gumaste, and we have their CFO, Mr. R.S. Srivatsan. So without taking much of your time, I will hand over the call to Gumaste, sir, for the opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. First of all, let me welcome all of you for the quarterly results update of Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Limited. I hope that everyone is doing well and away from COVID. And I'm happy to inform you that we have been having very few cases. As on date, we have almost 0 cases in all our plants, which is very good development and improvement, which gives tremendous stability to our operations. And also, we will be in a position to work continuously to meet the customer requirements. A quick reference to our projects we can based on our vision and mission for pig iron plant and foundry business, casting business. And we have completed the Coke Oven project by the end of the financial year last year. And in the Q1 and Q2, we have moved on to the operation of the Coke Oven to full capacity. We have already crossed the 100% capacity utilization, which is 2 lakh ton per annum. We are producing more than 18,000 metric ton of coke per month in our Coke Oven, which is more than the capacity. We are also generating 20 megawatts of power from the Coke Oven. We have just completed the acquisition of Hirur plant with respect to taking over the plant. We are doing the the maintenance and upgradation and cleaning and all the preparatory thing for startup of the Hirur plant as early as possible. And before the end of this quarter, we plan to start the plant within next few weeks. And we are also preparing and progressing to start the other projects in the pig iron business, which is upgradation of blast furnace 2 and pulverized coal injection and other technology upgradation in blast furnace 2. We are also preparing for taking up the Coke Oven and power plant phase 2, which is taking the Coke Oven capacity to 4 lakh metric ton per annum and power generation of 40 megawatts from the Coke Oven plant at an investment of close to 240 crores. Upgradation of blast furnace 2, pulverized coal injection, oxygen enrichment is likely to take an investment of about 100, in line with our long-term plan to take the Hospedt plant or Koppal plant liquid metal or pig iron production capacity to 5 lakh metric ton per annum, and with the pulverized coal injection and oxygen enrichment, and with the acquisition and operation of Hiriyur plant, subsequently as we commission the sinter plant in Hiriyur, that plant should give us 2 lakh ton liquid metal per annum. Total, we will go close to 6.8 or 7 lakh metric ton per annum. That would be the ultimate full capacity of the Piggeron plant. And in the meantime, we are moving ahead with all the debottlenecking projects, improving the capacity in the core shop, melting shop, and the fettling and finishing shops, so that we move ahead towards 1,50,000 metric ton of casting production per annum. That is the ultimate installed capacity of 3 foundries. Basically manufacturing non-water jacketed blocks, water jacketed blocks, and the housings. We continue to invest and expand our machining capacities, both in Koppal and Solapur, and with the interest from the customer, we will continue to invest more and expand the machining capacity. We also continue to develop new products as per requirement of our customers, and that will add more volumes in the coming quarters. Right now, the Piggeron is operating, the plant is of both MDF 1 and 2 operating at full capacity. Demand for casting continues to be strong. Coke oven and power plant operating full capacity. There has been good progress on iron ore mines, progress on clearances. We are yet to start the mines operation, but we are inching forward to go for start of operation of the plant mines. Now let me come to the quarterly results. For the quarter 3 of this year, we have revenue from the operations at 590.1 crores, other income at 56 lakhs, total 590.66 crores, 30% growth over the last year's third quarter, which was 455.71 crores. We've done well on the control of expenses and many other costs, especially raw material costs, because this year third quarter has the coke coming from the coke oven plant, and hence we could improve on the EBITDA. EBITDA last year was 53 crores. In this year, quarter 3 EBITDA is 145.28 crores, which stands at 24.6%. Moving forward, PBT, which was at 34.36 crores last year, third quarter. This year it is 119.78 crores, which is a very decent increase compared to the last year. Coming to the material cost, this year it is at 49.3% against last year 61.1%. Power cost has come down from close to 6% to 3.5%. Employee benefits, it's going up compared to last year because of the turnover being still low. We are quite hopeful that in the coming months, with the Hiriyur plant becoming operational, we will catch up with the top line and once again show some progress compared to the last year. Financial cost remains at around 1%. Profit before tax is at 20.3%. And EBITDA, as I told, at 24.6%. As far as the capex outlay for the coming quarter and the next year moving forward, we are looking at upgradation of Blast Furnace 2, pulverized coal injection, operation of the mines, Coke Oven Phase 2 and Power Plant Phase 2, and also completion of all the activities including sinter plant operation in Hirur plant and also payment of the balance amount. Plus on the casting side, machining capacity, adding machines as required with the new machining orders from the customers. Casting debottlenecking and capacity utilization enhancement. As you must have noticed, we have already reached a level of close to 10,000 per month of casting sales, or 30,000 metric ton of casting sales per quarter, which becomes a run rate of 120,000 metric ton per annum, and we look forward to increase further in the coming year. So we are also doing debottlenecking investment for settling and finishing of the castings, automation projects, and technology upgradation projects, and whatever required to debottleneck and move forward. So we envisage 600 to 700 crores of investment in next 1.5 years to complete these projects and take the capacities both in pig iron and foundry to their full potential. And we are looking forward to increase capacity utilization as well as the machining value. With this brief about the last quarter and the projects in progress, I would like to move on to the questions and answers based on your queries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1. First question is from the line of Chetan Phalke from Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Congratulations for a great set of numbers. Sir, have you added any new customers during last 3 months, 6 months?
To the best of knowledge, we are developing castings of the new customers, but I think we have added one customer in last 6 months.
Okay. And sir, are we witnessing any trend wherein the global manufacturers, they are increasing their production from India, perhaps, or in export can inch up from here on? Any trend that you witness on that particular side?
No, based on our capability of manufacturing Euro 6 castings and also very high-end or critical castings, what we manufacture, there has been definitely interest not only from the Indian customers, also from the customers abroad, which may mean either deemed export or export. There has been gradual progress on deemed export, and there could be coming forward some exports as well. But it will also require capacity expansions if we have to make any major export commitments, which we are open if there are attractive proposition coming in our way for export as well as deemed export.
Any ballpark what percentage of our existing casting volume is from?
Sorry to interrupt you. Sir, your voice is breaking. I request you to come in a better reception area and repeat your question.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, better.
Yeah. Any ballpark number, as in what percentage of our existing casting volume?
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Once again, we are losing your voice.
Hello. I'll come back in the queue, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Kothari from Unique Investment Private Limited. Please go ahead.
All means in terms of maybe EBITDA, in terms of balance sheet and operational efficiency. So really great numbers. So my question and wanted to understand is two things is broad casting outlook scenario for next 2 to 3 years, how you look at this current situation. And second, combined pig iron and casting, the material cost is roughly currently we reach around 49-50%. So which is a sustainable material cost you want to keep, which is your objective maybe over a year or 3? So these are two questions.
Yeah, let me address the first question first. As far as the, as we came out of the pandemic, quarter 1, quarter 2, basically it was, the agri-business or the tractor demand was at its peak, and it continues reasonably at a very strong level even today. And the later on, the auto also, we are into basically commercial auto and not passenger so much. But both have picked up recent weeks and months, and we see further improvement in the auto numbers sales. We definitely see good demand for the casting for this remaining months of this year, as well as at least next year also. The projections, early indications which have come from the customers is that the next year also the demand for castings will be strong for almost all the customers who buy casting from us. This is one aspect. As far as the margins or the the raw material cost and then the EBITDA is concerned, two important aspects. First of all, what are the positives for KFIL, which are sustainable positives, is we today have our own coke oven. As long as coal prices are soft and coke prices and pig iron prices are strong, we get the benefit. But we can always expect some movement in the coal prices as well, can become strong. They have already started becoming stronger. And at the same time, the positive is we have our own coke oven today, and we generate power and we consume power. So we have from coke oven to the blast furnace direct conveyor, we have reduced fines generation, reduced consumption, reduced handling losses. Those are the positives, and the technology of the coke oven being very good, generates a lot of power compared to any other coke oven. It's the latest up to date. We generate 220 megawatts with 2 lakh. No one else, at least in India, generates so much, to the best of my knowledge. And that is a positive. And other aspect is we have possibility to blend the 4 types of coals, which we keep doing. Lower grade coals in a very high proportion can go into the coke ovens. That's a positive. It is under our control. And we have also tied up with one of our suppliers, partners for coal to coke conversion for next 16 months. We have started getting that from month of 1st of December. And going forward also, we expect that we will have the benefit of coal to coke conversion right from now to till we commission our phase 2 as well. So definitely the raw material what you see in this quarter is definitely we think that it is difficult to sustain because of the commodity prices going up and down. But we will not be going back to 9%, 10% EBITDA, which was before the Cocoa One. It would be much better and much better level compared to that. There can be adjustment with the material cost.
Right. Very good, sir. And sir, last question is, when we want to fully use our iron ore mines allocation and how much it will, big in-house, supply of the iron ore of our total requirement when we reach 5 lakh ton plus 7 lakh ton, I think, capacity of iron ore or pig iron production. So how much iron ore we will require and how much will be through these two mines, and by when you feel we'll be able to fetch it?
I just mentioned that our aim is to operate all the 3 blast furnaces now, including Hiriyur, with sinter plant, and we may go up to the hot metal, including the pulverized coal injection, up to 6.8 lakh ton into 1.6 is we need about 1.1 million ton of iron ore total, lump and fines put together. With the current 2 small iron ore mines what we have got, the first year permission or first year mining plan is 2.5 lakh metric ton per annum, and we will have the option to submit for enhancing, which as you mentioned, we will definitely try to go up into the mining quantity of 5 lakhs or 7 lakhs, but that is only in the second and third years as we get into. So at the best, I expect that it can take care of up to 60% of our requirement, 50 to 60% of our requirement from these 2 mines. And we are open for participating upcoming iron ore mines auctions so that we also get 1 or 2 more larger iron ore blocks for our future requirement.
Great,
to
sir.
cover full mining for our plant requirement.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Wish you best of luck. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Falguni Datta from Jet Age Securities Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Sir, just wanted to know when is the 1.5 lakh tons of pig iron capacity of VSL Steels going to get started for us?
We will first commission. We plan to commission the plant, and I think it could happen in next few weeks.
Okay. And sir, what would be
after that we complete the sinter plant, and then it will go to full production with sinter plant.
So in FY22, can we expect like 50,000 tons of incremental pig iron volumes from VSL?
Our plan is to go for 1.8 lakh tons.
From there itself, from VSL?
Yes.
Okay. And so this apart, you were also mentioning of blast furnace upgradation. So our capacity is 3.9 lakh ton currently, is what I understand. And then there is 1.8 lakh tons of VSL, as you mentioned. So to this, do we have any more capacity expansions that we've planned in?
No, there are 2 steps. Once we upgrade blast furnace 2 similar to blast furnace 1, our daily production will go to 1300, which 341 days we get into close to 4 lakh 25 or 4 lakh 40,000 tons.
Okay.
This productivity or production is without PCI.
Okay.
So if we go for PCI with say 3% oxygen enrichment, there is a possibility to enhance the production up to 5 lakh ton from 2 blast furnaces in Koppal. So in addition to that, the Hiriyur output. But in the coming year, we will have at least 75 days stoppage of blast furnace 2 for upgradation.
Okay.
That will be loss of production, something we lose here. The Hiriyur adds something. So next year, we are likely to go to full production from all the 3 furnaces.
Okay. And sir, as regards of the 390,000 tons of pig iron that we produce currently, how much is our captive consumption for castings?
About 10% is what we consume in-house between Hospet and Solapur. The 90% we sell in the market.
And sir, rest 90% of the raw material that goes into castings, is it entirely scrap? Like 10%?
Yes, you are right. Yes.
Okay. And sir, coke oven, how much from compared to FY 20, how much better are we in FY 21 and FY 22? So broadly, if you can just help us know that coke oven would meet how much of our coke requirement in FY 21 and 22?
No, I just mentioned that one is we are likely to produce 210,000 from the coke oven here.
Okay.
And we have also tied up for the conversion of coal to coke with one of our partners. Okay. Together we'll take care of 100% requirement of our coke, either from our coke oven plus conversion through our partner.
And sir, lastly, what would be the total quantum of our coke consumption, let's say in FY 21?
21, 22.
Anyone, sir, FY 21 also you can give the current year.
No, but basically, see, we are still consuming about, the total requirement up to now was close to 23,000. Around 275,000 ton for copper. And to that you can add about 120,000 from the new plant.
Okay.
So our total coke requirement will be close to 4 lakh ton.
Okay. Fine, sir. Sir, I'll get back in the queue because there would be others. I just had one question, but then I'll just maybe get back in the queue.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. A request to all the participants, please restrict to 3 questions per participant. If time permits, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. Next question is from the line of Bharat Sheth from Quest Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
And on excellent performance. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, my question, I have 2 to 3 questions. Particularly, say, whatever backward integration we have done in pig iron and then forward integration of machining. So how much that is helping us to improve our EBITDA margin approximately? Had even coal price keep on increasing at earlier level, it was around $200. Still, we'll be able to get some kind of benefit.
Yeah. First of all, as I mentioned, the coke internationally is not available. If we have to run our businesses efficiently, we need to have coke oven. There's no more choice left in the market anymore. So there's no question of $470 coke import and then make any business out of that. So it is the only option left out is to have our own coke oven or buy from Indian sources. So we have a efficient coke oven plant which is permitting blending as well as maximum power generation, and it is efficient. In our view, given current scenario, even if coal prices move up, we should be able to manage it quite well. And as I just mentioned before, coke oven and power plant, we used to talk about the margins, EBITDA margin of 9-10%. I think now in a sustainable way, we will be able to go much higher than that. And you have seen in a good combination like coal prices being low and coke prices being high, the EBITDA margins are much higher, like 24.6% last quarter.
Okay, great. So now, I mean, coming to what is the current level of machining vis-a-vis last year, and how do we see that machining contribution improving, I mean, of casting in next couple of years, the kind of investment we are making?
See, we are very close to investment of about 100 crores in machining, which can give us about 50 crores of machining value. But currently we are at maybe 25-30 crores of machining value. But it will, as capacity utilization is now coming and machines are getting into place, we expect it to go to about 50 crores of machining. And we plan to invest about 50 crores per year. In next 4 years, you can imagine that the machining value should go to about 125 crores or 150 crores in next 3-4 years.
Sir, on this casting realization, is there any differential between, say, the farm equipment and auto, particularly Euro 6? So with the Euro 6 demand, I mean, TV demand going up and more of a mix of auto, so do we expect some kind of a better realization?
No, I think, many of our customers in auto and tractors are like, dedicated customers, and almost all the customers doing well as on today, both auto and tractor. I expect the ratio of auto and tractor will continue to be similar at least for coming few months or couple of quarters. It can change as we develop more casting from the auto sector, then only it can change. But right now I expect the ratios to remain similar for the coming months and quarters.
And this first coke oven plant has helped us, I mean, to save approximately 40 crore on the power cost. So with the second, coke oven plant coming, when that benefit will start fully getting reflected?
No, two important aspects in that is when we add another 20 megawatts, we will also have to add consumption of 20 megawatts to get the full benefit. Otherwise, we'll have to put into grid and use in Solapur or use in Hiriyur and then sell. Selling is the most inefficient because cross subsidy will come on to that. So our effort going forward would be whatever power we generate, how do we consume ourselves so that it becomes more efficient.
Okay. Thank you, sir, and all the best. If I have any question, I will come back to you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A request to all the participants, please restrict to 3 questions per participant. If time permits, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor & Company. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Dhanyavad for the opportunity. Sir, firstly about this Euro 6 impact. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, with the Euro 6 implementation, sir, how has the tonnage factor come into play for the casting, and has that given a boost to the tonnage in case of casting, the Euro 6 implementation?
No, actually, the anticipation was that Euros will increase the cost of vehicles and it may affect the demand. This was the original anticipation before COVID, and COVID was a different ball game altogether. But as the impact of COVID is waning away and normalcy is coming back from quarter 3 and further onwards, but early indications from our auto customers in Euro 6 is that the demand, in spite of introduction of Euro 6 and the increased cost of vehicle also, demand seems to be growing and demand is strong.
Sir, I got that demand.
Yeah.
So I was only talking about due to the Euro 6 implementation, the volume of the tonnage which was earlier required for the same specification has gone up and thereby consuming of more of casting in terms of the tonnage. That was my point.
No,
has that happened?
The consumption is 1-to-1 and only the demand for casting will go up as the number of vehicles produced are increased. So it is almost all customers who were in Euro 4 have gone to Euro 6 now, and the demand continues to be similar and not anything different. Only thing, if we add more customers or more castings, more types of castings from the existing customers, then the volume would go up. And we are putting our efforts to add volume to line 2 where capacity is available.
Right. In the casting business, what have been our utilization levels for the last quarter, sir, for the December quarter?
No, this is we have gone to a run rate of 1,20,000 tons, and usable capacity, I think it can go up to 1,50,000. So 120 by 150, we are at a capacity utilization of all 3 lines put together at around 80% of usable capacity.
Of usable capacity, sir. And sir, how is what is the outlook on this, sir? The pig iron prices, sir, and the scrap availability also. How much of scrap are we consuming for the casting manufacturing? And how are the scrap prices behaving?
As regards the scrap, we almost consume equivalent to what casting we produce, and scrap prices, I would say almost 90% or 80% we consume steel scrap. 10% of pig iron is about 40,000. So you can say around 80,000, 7,000 to 8,000 ton of scrap is what we consume every month, and the prices of steel scrap the last 4 to 6 weeks, they have continuously gone up, and right now it seems to be softening as we stand today. How much it will come down, we will have to watch and see, but they have softened. It can also have some effect on pig iron, but we are holding on to the prices of pig iron, but there can be corrections in the prices downward, or where it will stabilize or they will pick up again. It's extremely difficult to say at this point of time, because demand for casting continues to be strong, so hence demand for steel scrap and will also continue to be going up or remain as strong as it has been in the last quarter.
Right. So the last point about this coke part.
So I'll request you to come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ayush Agarwal from Mittal Analytics. Please go ahead.
Sir, thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on a great set of numbers. I have my questions regarding the coke oven plant. Sir, as we know that we are about to spend around 320 odd crores on coke oven. How much have you already spent?
Most of it.
Most of it. But we still haven't commissioned the second battery, right? We have only commissioned one batch.
370 crores is for phase 1 only.
Okay, it was for phase 1 only. So, sir,
currently, we are working on infrastructure development around the Coco One. That is the only investment left out, and completion of performance tests and related 5 or 10% payments. That's the last payments which are being spent now. And phase 2 will have its own investment, which is estimated to be about 240 crores.
Right. And sir, on this 370 odd crores that we have spent, what kind of cost savings have we seen in at least like the last 2 quarters when it has been running at full capacity?
I think last 1 quarter it is running at full capacity, and you have seen the results. The EBITDA has gone up from 34 crores to 100 and let me refer to the paper just now I close. The EBITDA from 53 to 145 crores. That's the movement. But in that, there are 2 components. One is the benefit of the Coco One and power plant, and also the benefit of the advantageous position of coal prices being high and coke prices and pig iron prices being strong and coal prices being low. But I think there is a substantial valuation from the Coco One. We expect Coco One should pay us back in about 3 to 4 years, because I can always expect market up and down, but 3 to 5 years payback on Coco One is what we expect.
Right. And so my last question is, this partner that we have tied up with, what would be the conversion rate at which we have tied up with this partner for additional
I don't want to go into more details on that. Request your understanding.
Okay. No worries, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next question is from Sahil Sanghvi. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, so my first question is regarding the casting realizations. How much more price hikes can we still expect, if you can give us a kind of a range to cover the input cost inflation?
See, whatever were the price increases in the month of July, August, September, most of the customers settled it from 1st of October or 1st of November based on understanding with the customer, most of them from 1st of October.
Okay.
And whatever has been the price increase from September, October, November, October, November, December, 3 months, they are getting settled from 1st of January. And most of them are getting settled with effect from 1st of January. As the increase has been very steep in October, November, December, maybe some part of the increases are getting even now negotiated and settled, and we expect to complete that within a week or 2, so that up to date, whatever has been the increase in the raw material, alloys and power, up to the end of December is settled by most of the customers.
Right, sir.
But it will come in this quarter from January. But also, please note that material cost impact will also come from 1st of January
right, sir.
in this quarter fully. And there will be definitely the effect of material cost increase as well as the price increase.
Sir, just on that front, our iron ore is on spot basis, right, sir? So we definitely must have seen some cost inflation in our Q3 results from the iron ore front. Is that correct?
Yeah, because generally we don't have too huge stock of iron ore. We keep participating in the auction, and our stocks are typically less than 1 month iron ore stock. So whatever is the market price of iron ore is what we are buying at the most with a lag of 1.5 months.
Right, sir. My second question is, sir, regarding the CV demand. So, are you seeing any kind of change in the demand outlook, or I mean, what is your view on that front, sir? Because the production numbers are still muted, sir. So, how do you see that, sir?
The early indications of February and March is they are asking for demand is for more castings from the auto players.
Right, sir. Right. Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the auto customers who are connected with us mainly.
Okay. This is essentially CV, sir, because my question is essentially on the CV front. Yes.
Heavy commercial vehicles.
Okay. And sir, one more question is that except from the power cost that we are already trying to control, is there any other savings that we can squeeze out when it comes to the casting production process? Is there any more improvement we can get on the casting production cost?
One is the ongoing effort is cutting down on the rejection front. The other than that is our own power consumption and utilization. And in addition to that, there are always efforts in terms of waste elimination and capacity utilization going up also spreads the cost, semi-fixed cost. Hence, the advantage of capacity utilization, especially the ELT power consumption, doesn't go up so much with increased capacity utilization, and hence we get advantage of reduced power consumption per ton of casting produced. So these are the three areas where we will be working for getting some benefit on variable cost reduction in casting.
Right, sir. And just one last question, sir. Regarding the genset application, the castings that we were about to commence. So have you started commercial production? What are the current production rates, if you can disclose, and how many customers do we have over there?
Are you talking about two-part foundry?
Yeah, the genset application for the engines, the diesel engines that we were supposed to start, sir.
I think you are talking about large castings produced in Solapur through two-part foundry. It's still in the beginning, not major commercial invoicing.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That will be all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Akshay Satija from Alpha Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, congratulations on a good set of numbers, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I just had one question.
Can you be a bit closer to mic so that I can hear properly?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
So I just wanted to know, is there any update on the forward integration that we were looking forward to, or maybe some value-added steel or DI pipes or something like that? Do we have anything concrete yet, or it's still in the initial, planning phase?
I don't have anything to disclose at this point of time other than what I have spoken about casting capacity expansion and pig iron manufacturing capacity expansion. Other than this, we have nothing to disclose at this point of time.
Okay. So also, if you could just give us an idea of what sort of machining capacity do we have right now? So when we say we have a casting capacity of 150,000, how much can we how much can we machine out of that?
About 20%, or in value terms, about 50 crores machining per annum.
Okay.
That is the current installed capacity.
Oh, got it. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Neelam Punjabi from Perpetuity Ventures. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking the question. Sir, congratulations for some great set of numbers. I just had one question. Our employee costs have gone up pretty significantly this quarter. So is there any one-off here, or can we take it as a base going forward?
I think it has a big component of one-off. As we decided to give back all the salary cuts, what was implemented in the first quarter has been given back to the employees fully and properly. We also decided to give the increments with effect from 1st July 2020, so there is a provisioning for that. Also, the workman agreement, which is in discussion, which is from 1st of April, some increased provisioning for that based on the better performance and results. So it has a lot of components which is one time in nature that has to be taken into consideration.
Sir, could you please quantify the total amount of one-off if possible?
See, our typical increase could be of the order of increase of about, including the impact of agreement, it could be about 7 to 8% increase in ERE compared to last year.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jinesh Sangvi from Principal Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Congratulations on a good set of numbers. Couple of things, sir. On the PCI injection, what is the quantum that we are doing right now, and what is the level that we plan to reach going ahead? That was one. Second, are we on the phase 2? Are we again setting up a 2 lakh ton Coke oven battery? If yes, by when can we expect that to get kind of commissioned? And what could be the peak debt that we expect over the next 2 years with 600 to 700 crores of capex that we have planned?
Yeah, with respect to pulverized coal injection into furnaces, we don't have the facility as of now. We are not doing any PCI injection into furnaces, and we look forward to go up to maybe up to 120 kg of coal injection, because we would be manufacturing foundry grade, hence the injection levels would be lower, could be 80 kg up to 120 max. And with respect to Coke oven, our phase 2 would be 2 lakh metric ton.
Hello.
So please take a line for the speaker is strong. We are trying to rejoin them.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We have the line for the speaker connected back. You may go ahead.
Yeah, can I go ahead?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, I think I don't know where I got.
Yeah, so you said 2 lakh ton under phase 2 for the Coke oven.
Yeah. That would be the capacity for phase 2, and we plan to complete that project in about 15 months from now.
Okay. And what would be the peak debt that one could expect?
All depends, typically my understanding is that we continue to pay the debt as well, and we may remain around 200-300 crores peak debt and not borrow too much.
So do we plan to raise any equity for this, or it will be largely debt funded and internal accruals?
It would be mainly internal accrual.
Okay. And sir, just one clarification. You said 75 days of stoppage for the BF upgradation, right?
Blast furnace 2.
Yeah. Okay. And sir, if you can share the kind of improvement in spreads for the pig iron in Q3 vis-a-vis Q2? If you can share that number. Because pig iron prices could be...
See, I don't have many details on that, but I think, as you know, I think the top line growth is 30% based on increased casting as well as the price increase on pig iron.
Okay. Fine, sir. No problems. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abhisar Jain from Monarch Networth. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Congratulations for a great set of numbers. Sir, my question is related to the castings division. We have been talking about that in the annual reports that our new product development time has reduced considerably, particularly after the commissioning of the 3D printing. So, sir, just wanted to understand from you that, how many new product developments would we be undertaking now after doing these kind of improvements versus, say, what we were doing 1-2 years back? Means in terms of the number of new products that we develop for our existing or new clients, what would have been the increase that we would have seen?
The new product development cycle time has come down, but new product development will be based on what new orders we book. And what new orders we book depends also on what capacity we have and how much capacity utilization we can increase from quarter to quarter and year to year. So I can say that our first priority definitely has been our existing customers, and 1 or 2 customers also getting added year on year. But the development of casting was maximum demand and requirement was at the time of changeover from Euro 4 to Euro 6. Now, henceforth, that development will come down, but new additions and also whatever new customers we add and existing customers, new casting we add, we will continue to develop, and they could be of the order of, there are also model change related casting development, and typically we will have each location around 15 to 20 casting developments minimum.
Right. Sir, what I was trying to understand is that are we able to take up more work of our existing customers itself, because now we have the faster product development cycle capability, and hence we can do more models for them than we used to do in the past, say?
Typically, as you know, we make blocks, heads and housing, and most of the customers, we are at almost like 100% supply to them. So whatever is the volume increase or new model launches, we will be there to develop, and most of the customers are happy to give that to us, as we have been able to do well on NPD as well as ramp up and also super quality supplies.
Right, sir. Right. Understood. And sir, just one clarification on the VSL plant. What kind of working capital investment do you see in that, and also on the upgradation and maintenance that you would have done in that plant?
I think we had set aside around 15 crores for the maintenance, revamp and clean up and startup. I think we will be in that range for the startup without the sinter plant. And sinter plant, we expect to spend about 30-35 crores to start the sinter plant.
Okay, so 135 plus 15 plus 30-35 for
all put together within about 200 crores.
Brilliant. Understood, sir. Thank you so much, sir, and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shailesh Veal from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Congrats on excellent Q2 numbers, sir. So with the 700 crore capex plan, including the capex capacity addition and backward integration, what kind of incremental revenue and PBT you are targeting? And as per your assumption, in how many years do you think you can achieve full incremental number?
As you know, these have two components. One is, investments related to capacity increase, which are basically Hirur plant and casting increase. The part of the investment is for the cost management, which is the coke oven and power. One is that apart, but our plan is to look forward for 6.8 lakh ton of pig iron and 1,50,000 ton of casting. All these capexes are to achieve that, and we expect good top line growth in the coming years. As pig iron is a commodity, it also depends on the pricing, but like we are looking at possibility of going forward, and our top line this year also could be close to 2,000 crores or maybe slightly more. But coming years, as the volume increase, I think top line growth would be definitely much better next year and next to next year.
Okay. So you're expecting 20% progress, sir, in terms of volumes?
I think it would be much more because Hirur should give us 500 crores of sales. And the casting business should give us, you can calculate, we are at almost 100 rupees a kilo. And we look forward that in 2 years we should reach 1,40,000 or 1,50,000 as the market demand is going strong. And pig iron at 6,80,000 instead of 3,80,000 is 3 lakh addition, so which includes, of course, Hirur. So we expect better than that. We have not yet worked out. Once we work out, we would be in a position to share more light. But in the casting business, volumetrically, we expect year on year at least to grow about 15% at least, plus the inflation effect. And pig iron is the addition of one more blast furnace. A combination of this will take us much more than 20% growth in coming years.
Okay. Very good, sir. So in casting business, what is our market share in domestic tractor and CV compared to the last year? And what is the current content per vehicle for tractor and CV in terms of kg? Example, for tractor 30 HP and for the commercial vehicle 33 ton.
Your voice is feeble. Can you be a bit closer? Yeah.
Yeah. So in casting business, what is our current market share in domestic tractor and CV segment? And what is the current content per vehicle for tractor and CV in terms of kg?
Typically, tractor has 800 kg to, you can say, 1,000 kg of casting. 1 ton of casting per tractor is a norm. So, but out of that, we supply block head and housing. Block head and housing could be of the order of 400 kilos, approximately, and which is a major content. So you can say that if India is moving towards something like 1 million tractors, I think you can say that 1 million ton of casting, that of that 500,000 is our market. And so we are at around 20-30% market share. Depends on how we measure. Lot of we are the participants in that 1 million market We don't make all castings, all kinds of casting of a tractor. It's block, head and housing, which are the bigger castings. So it's about 0.4 million out of the tractor is what we address. Out of that, you can say that we supply about you can say 40,000 kind of thing. 40,000 out of 5 lakh. So we are around 10% market share if I put the housings also. But when we look at block and head, we have 30% market share or 40% market share in block and head put together.
Okay. With the full utilization level, including the newer capex, what kind of return ratios you are targeting?
What kind of?
16% return ratios.
You are talking about EBITDA?
No, ROC, sir. ROC and ROE return ratios.
Okay. So I think I don't know. So I think it has to be much better than 15%.
Okay.
We are talking about 15% EBITDA. On the return, it has to be much better than that.
So last time,
last year 19-20 we were at ROCE of 15%, and last quarter we are at 26.5%. We should be somewhere in between.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Shailesh. I'll request you to come back in the question queue for a follow-up question.
Thank you, Shailesh.
The next question is from the line of Arvind Chera from Enam Holdings. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Hi, this is Bhavin Chera. So congrats on a great set of numbers and the exciting growth story ahead. If I see your numbers from the website, your casting realization has just improved 3 rupees a kg and almost at near last year levels only. So what kind of price negotiations are you seeing here based on the quarterly or monthly contract?
No, the peak raw material cost increase has been something like 10 rupees a kilo. And I don't think customers are really getting into that kind of price increase immediately. So whatever is the impact in the month of, that also what happens is it is the average of October, November, December. So most of the customers have settled around 5 to 6% price increase, and something will come definitely in the next quarter also. Something is coming next 1 or 2 weeks also. So it's very difficult to tell which customer is giving how much. It's not the matter of discussion. But we are trying, there is an understanding with most of the customers. Whatever is the impact of raw material, alloys and power increase on an average quarterly basis is being passed on to customers. And I think it will happen as per the understanding, because we have also in the past few quarters, we have given the reduction also to our customers. Hence, I expect customers to settle the increase also.
Yes.
As per the formula.
Right. So based on the price increases, the sharp steel price which happened in December and early January, your casting realizations was roughly 94 rupees a kg in the December quarter. So this should already be in excess of 100 rupees, right? Based on the steel price hikes which have happened in December.
I think this question you can also calculate. You have to put the average price of October, November, December. Then you are required to calculate January, February, March. What happens, we have to see to the raw material costs in February, March. It would be the average of October, November, December, and January, February, March.
Right. So other question is
if the raw material price continues at the same high level, we will get the full benefit in next quarter, which will be from 1st of April. But part of the increase, what has already happened in October, November, December, is coming from 1st of January.
Okay. Other questions, sir, on the coking coal inventory, how much do we normally have?
See, this is a strategic planning part, and we are well covered before this increase. We
Yeah,
can't
so
cover.
normally 30 to 40 days is what the steel players normally have the inventory. So we are also in line with that. We have more, we have less.
At least this time I'm much more.
Okay. Great, sir. Thank you and best of luck. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Jain from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Congratulations, sir, for good numbers. Sir,
thank you.
You said that BF2 you will be taking stoppage for improvement. When you are taking that, means in this fourth quarter or next year?
I couldn't get your question, please.
See, this BF2 company is likely to get stoppage for upgradation.
Phase 2.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about blast furnace 2.
Yeah, we are ordering now.
Okay, so when you will be taking that stoppage?
Next year, middle, we would be, after about 8 months, we would be taking the stoppage to complete the upgradation.
Okay, great, sir. Thank you.
Because it takes 6 to 8 months for supply.
Okay, fine. Yeah. And casting at current level, what is the capacity utilization?
I just now mentioned 80%.
80%. So we can go up to
usable capacity.
Yeah. But we can go up to 100% or how?
Yeah, definitely. When I say usable capacity, we have upward possibility to move up another 20%.
Okay. And last, sir, this iron ore mines, what we had got, when we are starting to get ore from that?
My team still promises me that I will get the iron ore from our own mine before end of this year.
Okay.
Because there are so many levels of approval and file signature, etc. But my team is still hopeful that we will at least get some iron ore from our own mines before end of this financial year.
Okay, sir. Great. Thank you very much and all the best for future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Manish Goyal from Enam Holdings. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much and very congratulations, sir, on excellent numbers, sir.
Thank you, Manish.
Sir, I just missed, initially you mentioned on the power plant, what is the power generation we had out of 20 megawatts in this quarter?
No, most of the time we were generating close to 20 megawatts.
Okay. So at the full capacity we were. And
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much
Some
of
more fine optimization could be possible, but we were running full last quarter.
Okay. So how much would like it could have been used for, say, in-house consumption for the casting, sir? Out of 20?
About 1 crore units per month.
Okay.
Yes. Between Pigaran and Foundry put together.
Sure, sir. And sir, can you provide basically 2 questions on the casting? One is like in terms of breakup of the casting volumes among the industry, like in terms of tractors, CV, engines, basically gensets. So how is it panning out now, sir?
I think about, earlier last quarters, it is more pickup from the tractors, and now gradually auto is picking up. I think we had gone up to 50% tractors. It may come down a little bit 40, 45%. About 10-12% would be gensets, and balance 50% would be auto. See, as we have deemed export, the drop has not been that deep.
Sure. Okay. And last question on the volumes in the casting, if you can give us some sense as to the volume share from the new customers which we may have acquired over last 1 or 2 years, or any metrics which company follows, say on a 1 year or a 3 year basis, just to get a sense volume contribution from new customers, sir.
No, there have been very smart pickups. Earlier, customers, of course, continue to be very strong growths. All of our customers have very smart growth over the last 2-3 years. And it's a big challenge for us to increase the volume for the newly acquired customers. But we are moving forward with committed volumes. And over the period, we may be required to create some more quality capacity to meet the requirement of newly acquired customers.
Okay, so when you said we are debottlenecking from 130,000 to 160,000, so is that that we would achieve that by when, sir? Is 160?
I just mentioned 150 as the usable capacity.
Okay.
After the foundry stage rejection and actual usable capacity. And our current run rate is 120,000. We have to go to 150,000, which I think will happen in the next about 18 months' time.
Okay, sir. And last question on the VSL. You mentioned that we will probably start the production, the furnace over there in next few weeks, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And when do you expect the sinter plant to start, sir?
We are working on something because of pandemic. We have got the extension for completing the project within the earlier environmental clearance. A lot of possibilities are there. We are trying to commission that within next few months.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A request to all the participants. Please restrict to 3 questions per participant. If time permit, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Bharat Sheth from Quest Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Repeat question. Sir, when we are talking of next year, FY22 stoppage of 75 days, this pig iron production for upgradation. So is it fair to assume that it will be compensated by the commissioning of VLS plant?
No, my assessment is, even if we take 3 months, 3 months of blast furnace 2 is 45,000 tons. And VSL, I just mentioned 180,000 for next year.
Okay.
So
but it will not...
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Mr. Kumasta, your line is breaking. I'll call you back. So 1 moment. Please take it.
Hello. Is it fair? Proper?
Sir, please stay connected. We are rejoining Kumasta, sir, back to the call. Participants, please stay connected. Ladies and gentlemen, stay connected while we rejoin sir back to the call. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We have line from Mr. Gumastak connected back to the call. Sir, you may go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Bharatji.
Sir, you were saying on this loss of production because of the closure of a blast furnace for upgradation, how it will be compensated from VLS? You are, giving that number.
Yeah, I just told that the stoppage of blast furnace 2 may reduce the production by 45,000 tons, and VSL or our Hiriyur plant, we plan to produce 180,000 next year.
Okay. Sir, and I missed our opening remarks, some part. So what is our current, as on 31st December gross debt and net debt, including working capital and fixed term loan?
No, I just mentioned that most of our planned investments in the coming 18 months are likely to get funded with our internal accruals. If any gap, we will be borrowing, but our total peak debt may not go above 200 to 300 crores. And working capital typically is a lot of it goes through 180 days credit on coal purchase, which is imported, and plus the regular working capital which is required. We continue to maintain similar level. As volumes increase, the increase may be marginally there, but we don't see major increase.
And currently, what is our average cost of borrowing both to
for the working capital?
Working as well as term loan?
Term loan around 6%, working capital less than 5%.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor Company. Please go ahead. Saket Kapoor, may I request you to unmute your line from your side and go ahead with your question. Saket Kapoor, we are unable to hear you. May I request you to unmute your line from your side? Ladies and gentlemen, as there are no further questions, I will now hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Sanghvi for closing comments.
Thank you, Nirav. We want to thank Ravindranath sir and Srivatsan sir for patiently answering all the questions very elaborately. We also want to thank the participants for joining the call. Gumastak sir, would you like to give any closing comments or should we end the call?
No, thank you very much, everyone who, first of all, Monarch, for organizing this conference call, and all the participants of today's call. Thank you very much for your overwhelming response and interest in Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Limited. And also thank you very much for the organization process time. We scheduled 5 to 6:30, and we are completely before that. Thank you very much. Srivatsan, would you like to add anything?
So your voice is cracking. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Monarch Networth Capital Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your line. Thank you.